This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
Welcome back to the Afro Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Tinashe, alongside my co-hosts Charlene, Aishina, Anton, Asha, and Shanice.
Okay.
She's enjoying some cake right now. What about Shanice?
I'm good, sorry.
It's alright, man.
Don't be sorry.
They said there's nothing in the post or nothing. It's cool.
Okay, so
what was that? Get into this.
Yeah,
Right,
so,
okay, so the next.
Okay, good. Well,
I'm asking the question because I'm posting.
Alright.
I'm posting to the females, right?
Anton the God.
Yes. Right, so the next kind of topic is cheating a good enough reason to break up when you have children with someone? So as a family unit, if you find out your significant other is cheating, is that actually a good enough reason to leave?
I want to answer.
Go.
Okay, so I've got 2 kids. My youngest daughter's dad cheated on me. End of the relationship. That was it. I'd rather do it alone. End of it. I didn't marry him in a mosque to and take on his culture as well, because he's Muslim, I'm not Muslim. So I felt like I did a lot for his family and him, for him to go and cheat on somebody. Goodbye, I'll raise the kids alone, and you can have, he sees his daughter. It's like what's it, co-parenting? Yeah.
How's it working out?
Great. Never been happier. We couldn't have been together, and I'm not about to have you cheating
But when
on
you
me.
say great, whose perspective are you speaking from?
Probably my daughter's, because he wasn't happy.
Yeah, but how do you know what your daughter idealizes?
Because I know that she likes going to see her dad on the weekend.
No, that's based on what she knows.
What she know. But we was together for 3 years, and
Yeah, but that was how many years ago? Sorry, I don't mean to group.
That's not fair.
Asha, don't make him do that to you. Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
Right.
Wait.
What's up?
Why are we so high?
Because everybody was talking at once.
Okay.
Shanice?
Right, so
Okay.
No. Asha, you can finish.
No, I'm not pushing that hot. That was unfair, because you passed polygamy on. You was like,
Okay.
right, you're surrounded by the woman and you're getting beat up. I ain't gonna save you, man.
As her mum,
Yeah.
from my personal perspective, from what my household was like when I was unhappy as a woman,
Yeah.
that my mum was cheating on me,
Yeah.
I feel like my child is happier that I'm happy and her dad's happy. What is the point in staying together?
Okay, hold on. So I understand that perspective from the point of, okay, so if you feel like you've been disrespected to the point where it's messing with your energy, and that energy is therefore going to mess with the household,
Then you gotta go.
then I understand the. However, so I have another example. So hopefully my dad doesn't watch this, but my grandparents.
I was about to.
But yeah, my grandparents, from what I understand, were in a similar kind of scenario, and they stayed together until the children were pretty much adults, and then they went their separate ways. To the point where my granddad, he went all the way to America. Yeah, he left. But my dad said to me, he was happy for the time that he had. And he was glad that they did it that way. So that's the other side of it.
Yeah.
So I get that if you're in an unhappy relationship because somebody is cheating, and it's you are feeling mentally impacted, that you know what, it may be best for the children if you separate because of the energy you're going to be putting out there. But if you were then able to mask that from the children, would it then not be better to stay together?
That's only for
I'm
just asking questions.
Okay,
here.
Anton, let
We're gonna go round. So
let me follow on.
Let
me follow on from Anton. Right, I saw that in my upbringing. Like, my mom and dad are still together today. They're happy as ever. They still live together. And from a child's perspective, like, I still put myself in that child's shoes. I did see them argue. I did see issues, etc. Right, which I won't really go into. Nevertheless, they still, and I'm happy that they stayed together because the product was a balanced child. Had they not stayed together, I don't know the man that I would be today.
Be careful.
Are you balanced? Jokes.
Shots. She gave a shot from a pistol. That was an M16 shot. You can hear that from a mile away.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay.
But would you say that because Anton said that it's beneficial if it's balanced?
Yeah.
80% of the time it's not. But kids pick up vibes.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If
Kids pick up vibes, but guess
Kids
what?
pick
I
up-
picked up vibes, but they
how bad were the vibes?
Okay.
Because obviously,
The vibes, okay.
did you not say my turn?
Okay.
No.
No, you asked me a question. Here's the thing, Anton, right? If violence is involved, if it's unsafe for the children, then that's good reason. In my culture,
Is that the only
personally, they
grounds?
say, in my culture, where marriage is concerned, before you decide that you're going to divorce your partner, you're going to have to consult the family. And the family, you're going to have to give them good reason to say, this is why we're divorcing. It's not just something that you just decide, I can't bother, I'm going to do it all by myself. And no, it don't work like that. The family's got to agree to say, yeah, you know what, yeah, this is that bad. So if we were married and we had issues, right, you would come to my mom or to my sister or to my auntie and present your problem and say, this is the issue, right?
Most of the time it
It's
takes
solved
about
because when we marry, it's the
family.
families that marry.
It's not
Yeah,
just the two.
true.
It's not just the two of you. So when you're thinking, you don't just think of you. So unless if it's a case of your life is in danger, I'm beating you black and blue, to the point where your family feel that you're unsafe, the kids are unsafe, then I don't feel like, yeah, fair enough. If I'm involved in some on the road in some foolishness
And then
that's putting your kids' lives in
danger.
danger,
And the
then fair enough.
So the scale you're judging this scenario from may be different from a westernized scale. Then.
This is yeah, a
This
Western.
happens
Yeah, because
Western
I'm the
night.
young,
Hold on,
But that's the
let me-
thing. Western customs do not work with African people. So, nevertheless, if, for example, you find out, say,
My man's cheating.
your man's cheated. You've got 3 kids together, right?
Not having
Your
it.
man's cheated on you with some idiot gal on the road or whatever, right? You decide that you're gonna done with him because he
Cheated. Yeah.
cheated, right? Now that you're done with him, you're gonna have to move on.
To somebody else probably cheat on me as well.
Who might cheat on you or who might
Yeah.
not cheat on
She
you.
understands.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
if he doesn't cheat on you and he marries you, 10 years later he decides, or you mutually decide, no, we don't want this, then you're gonna have to move on, and then you're gonna have to face the prospect of either being cheated on or getting lucky again and finding the other guy.
yeah.
For some women,
Man said the devil. You
some women get lucky and get 20 years. Some women might literally spend the whole of their 30s trying to find that guy. Now, when you look at guys, single guys, right? You've got guys out there that have kids already, and then you've got guys out there that don't have kids. A guy that doesn't have kid meets Aishina that's got 3 kids.
For
Aishina's
Examples.
yeah. Go on.
Examples.
Yeah. I know.
Aishina's nice, everything, you get on and you get down to business, right? And then you get to the point where you're asking him, so where's this going? What's the first thing he's going to think of?
He wants
Your
to.
kids.
He wants to lock me down with Pickney. Yeah.
No, he's thinking
No,
of you. children.
remember, he hasn't got kids, but you are asking him, where's this relationship going? I want a relationship, I want to settle down. What's the first constraint that he's going to think of?
I don't know. You tell me.
The kids.
He's taking on
No,
the kids.
I
and
think
doing
I
it.
think that's a generalisation because I think it's down to mindset. So I think a
No,
guy
it's-
can.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Go.
He's probably
I
on the active family.
personally, I've got 2 children. I'm a single parent. I've never really had a. It's not like a guy's been like, oh, he knows you've got kids from before he's got with you.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what's going on.
You
You
had that
both know.
conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not
Band
talking
together.
about the point of...
We're talking about cheating. I'm talking
No.
about.
Yeah.
No,
We're talking about cheating. This how serious it is in the basis
How
of a
serious it
relationship.
is in the basis
And
of a
is it good enough
So-
to break down a
to break
When
that.
I-
Remember, you've
A
left.
family
Remember,
structure.
you've left the man that cheated on you. So now,
Okay.
You're
He's
out
got,
there,
okay,
right?
okay, I'm
so
with you. I'm with
you're
you.
out there.
Right.
You've got 2 kids, right?
Right, I'm with you.
You're dating.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You meet different guys.
Yeah.
do you mean to tell me that the fact that you've got kids isn't a constraint where dating is concerned?
Oh no, it is. Yeah, of course it is.
How much of a constraint is it?
Well, my kids come first, so it's a massive constraint.
No, I mean in the sense of when you meet a guy
Yeah.
and you're talking of whatever and you present the fact that you've got kids. If he doesn't have kids...
Oh, I've had kids for a very long time. This is like not. This is just
An alien.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is how...
In my
Let me switch up because
Mm.
basically what you're talking about is the man them group chat. Yeah? So the man them group chat is, which they're not necessarily
We're not privy to
because they're not privy to this. So let's have this
Right.
discussion man to man.
Right,
So
yeah.
basically in the man them group chat,
Yeah.
and this is not me personally because my women have never had any kids. Like the kids, women I've been with, they have not had any children. So I've never been involved that way. So the rule in the group chat is. This is the rule in the group chat.
I'm scared.
Okay, you're getting some drills right now.
Yeah. The rule, in the, and this again, this is not me because I'm married. I got my own. But the rule in the group chat is okay, cool. If you meet a woman at this, like, go back a few years, so we're 29, 30 years old, whatever. Not all of us, some of us. Yeah, right. And you meet a woman and you don't have any children, and she's got children. Most of the man them said that they would. If she's got one kid, cool. She's got two.
It's the carry on.
It's an absolute stretch. If she's got three, yeah, this is a black British boy perspective.
Yeah. No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah,
They're British.
yeah. Okay, but that's what I'm talking from.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she's got three, we can do a thing, but it's not. And this is the group chat. This is not my.
It's a fact.
Yeah. This is not
Yeah.
my perception of things.
Yeah.
Because I'm not involved like that. It's how the man them are talking. The single man that were single that are not single anymore.
Especially if you're talking about a man that doesn't have
He
kids.
doesn't have any kids.
A man
himself.
that has kids.
You gotta think about it. If I was,
And
if I was then to meet somebody new now, and they could have all the 6 kids. It's not. I've got 4 of my own.
Exactly. It's a case of you might not even be bothered about having kids with that person because you've already.
I'm good. You know,
You're good and she's good, so
Yeah.
the relationship becomes.
It's not about the
different.
children.
It's a whole
yeah, it's more
But if
focused
you're a
on.
guy, and you know what you mean, because you got to think about it from this perspective. We mentioned earlier, and most of you agree. Most of you agree that as a black man, if you're interested in black women, your choice of black women is far superior to the other way around. Yeah, it's just how it is. Why would I put myself in a position to go and date a woman who's got 4 kids when I can go and find a woman that has none?
Especially in
It's
an
too
environment
easy.
where there's so
It's
many
too
A lot of
easy.
people don't
single
want
black
ready-made
women.
Yeah,
families
that
anyway.
don't have
too
kids.
easy. It's literally too easy, and I guess it's no disrespect to women who have kids who are single because I get it.
So
But my point-
is it because like baby father drama, baby mother
Well,
drama?
yeah, well, that's
There's
one of the
baby
aspects.
father
Yeah.
drama,
Yeah.
but some girls that have got that control.
You got to remember, if you go into a relationship as a man and a woman, yeah, as a guy, yeah, if she's already got 2 kids already and it's to another guy, that guy is automatically he is included with you. He's coming along.
Is it part of the package?
He's coming along.
For life.
Yeah,
That's
they got
true.
it.
Unless you go
But
so
then-
happy to come along a guy that's completely not in the
Yeah.
picture, like he's in a different country. He's coming as part of the package. That means he can call your woman. He can message your woman. He can message your woman
but
at
then at the
midnight.
same time,
he can. Of course he can.
Yes,
get
he
a
can.
woman.
Of course he can. As a parent,
Well,
you watch
if
it.
I've
about
got my
you.
children, what you message me at midnight for?
Yeah.
No, if it's an emergency, you
Kids
can
are
do that.
asleep.
What I'm getting at is you are taking
He
on
could have the kids on the weekend.
and something could go on.
And you're out.
Yeah, and you're out. And you're out with
It's
your man.
co-parenting.
You're
Let's not be
Netflix
mature
and
about
chilling.
it.
No,
It's
no.
co-
And then baby
No,
mother
it's
How
not
drama.
many
issue
guys
at
are
that
going to
time.
be mature about it to say, chop, the baby dad was cool.
Well, then if you,
No, hold
do you
on,
know
hold
what?
on.
If the man has
You're
that
not letting
mentality,
the
you don't even want him
No,
anyway.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So as a guy, hold on. As a guy, you so your example. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you got 2 kids. Cool.
Yeah.
So you got out on a date with Asha. Cool. And the guy's got the kids for the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and you are having a good old time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something happens.
It's happened before.
You need-
Okay. Well, okay.
Not gonna lie, it has
Okay.
happened.
Oh, so I'm not talking from a place of foolishness.
Nah,
then.
you're not.
Okay.
You're not. It
Right.
has
So then,
happened.
so then it then takes a strong man
To deal with that.
Or A, a strong man, or B, a man who is already invested enough
Yeah.
to say, you know what, I'm going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Now, if this is at the early phases of the relationship, and not only do I have
I'm not
Asha,
gonna duck.
but Clarice down the road is interested in me and she has none, why am
But then
let me
Clarice down the
finish.
road probably got about 5 man anyway. She's
Let's
fine.
go.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. We're talking about the family structure and
Yeah.
cheating, yeah? So what we're saying here is why would I then put myself in that situation when I have to deal with Ash's baby father? When I can go and do Clarice and start fresh.
And even if it's cool with it, if I'm a guy that doesn't have kids, right?
It's headache.
And then my girl, I'm on a date with my girl, and she's got to go because she's got to go to the children's hospital with her baby father and the kid. Automatically, my mind's doing
Somersaults.
Yeah. Like,
and
okay,
it's unfortunate, but that's how the human brain is structured.
What's gonna happen when
it's an emotion scenario
right?
at its peak.
Okay.
That's insight for me because I
So,
just live my life. And do
What about the
And then you
women's
have-
group chat?
You have to tell me about that.
The women's group
Okay.
chat.
Because you meet me.
So,
Can I just say that before you go into the women's group chat, you have women that have got children. They're more nurturing, they're more loving. You know, they're not as selfish. A woman that hasn't got children, she's more selfish. She's more likely to cheat on you as well. You know, and all them kind of stuff. And just because you're breeding doesn't mean you're going to get to be a part of that child's life. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So there's all
the
these
point.
things that you need to think about as well. Sorry, no.
So you know how you said with men, because they're thinking, say, let's not use Ashley, let's call
Yeah,
names
can
we
we
don't
come?
know.
Yeah, somebody else.
Get out here.
We're not hot seats. Stop.
Sherry, right? Sherry, so you're dating Sherry and she's got X amount of kids.
Yeah.
With women's group chat now, it might be a case of I'll check this man. If he's got children, they're more likely to go for the one that's got kids with the same partner. So they've only got to deal with one baby mother than 10 baby mothers.
I understand.
So it's kind of
it's
balanced.
the same thing then.
It's the same thing. So it's like, so my man down the road that's got 6 baby mothers and dealing with the one with 6 kids, but he's got one baby mother. Size her up, I can beat her up, I don't care. Or it's a case of, I can talk to that one strong. But the fact that you want me to talk to 10 different baby mothers, that's like, I don't have energy for that. I don't have energy for that. So it's the same, like, so let's say, so a single woman dealing with the crap on the fishes that she's got to deal with, because the majority of them are going to have children.
Facts,
It just
especially this
depends.
age.
Yeah, so you're like, when you get to a certain age, when you're like 21, 22,
Yeah.
Okay, but
your
approaching
choices-
30s or going over 30s.
yeah, you gotta lower your stance, because a lot of women would come out and say, I'm not dating no man that's got kids.
Okay, so
I've heard that.
So
Hold on,
hold on.
I've heard that foolishness, you know.
Hold on, let me finish.
Stop,
So
that's a fact.
I'm in a group chat, and I'm not gonna bait her out, but I'm in a group chat with guys and girls, and there are a couple girls in that group chat who are my very good friends, and one of those friends has said that she's not with the shenanigans.
How?
She's basically saying she's not going to date a guy who has got kids.
Do you know how small her
Yeah,
her pool
I
is?
say that because I only have probably maybe one guy friend.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The pool is smaller.
Let's just
But that's what I'm saying.
Let's just be logical about it,
Especially
right? Let's
thinking
just
about
be
money as
logical
well.
about
We get
it.
your paychecks going out.
Let's
for
just
them.
be logical about it.
True.
When
You can't even take me on holiday because you got to pay child support.
Take yourself to Bournemouth,
Go and host Santa though.
Cornwall, my love.
You're in Blackpool.
check this, right?
Go on.
When Jay-Z got with
Beyonce.
Beyonce,
Yeah.
Jay-Z had kids already,
Yeah.
right?
Obviously.
And when people look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, they idealize that relationship, right? When Swizz got with Alicia,
Yeah, he had a young child.
he had a young child, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people still idealize that relationship. So, my point is, there's girls out there that say they wouldn't get with a guy that has kids already, or more so has multiple baby moms. And I get that,
Multiple different
especially if you're young and you don't have no kids.
And don't look after the youth.
And do you know what I mean? Like every young girl. But what I do say is, okay, every girl's got the right to say that, but at the same time, when she has a child, the terms change
Massively.
because that completely disregards single moms.
Come again.
Can you back to cheating? Just for a
She
second.
needs to second. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? So a girl can get with a guy that's got kids, marry him like Jay-Z and Beyonce, like Swizz and Alicia, and live happily ever after.
Yeah.
Right? Just because a guy has kids doesn't mean that he's a waste man.
No.
Just because a guy has multiple baby moms doesn't mean that he's incapable of being husband material.
Is that not the same for the other way around though?
Yeah. Why is
Because I feel like
it
it's a little bit
different?
one-sided, to be honest. You're coming
How
with
do you
all
work
this.
that
So
out?
why are you grilling me?
Because
No.
you're moving mad right now. No, you want me to because you
because
it's really
you
sexist
just
what
you
you're
slandered
saying.
the other
It's
way.
really sexist.
How?
Because it's different for a man than it is for a woman. You've had all
no
this to say on
different.
women that have got kids, and then the other way around.
It's like it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Why? Because you don't look after
Asha,
because
I
men
don't
don't
know
look
why
after the
you being
kids.
so
you know what I
aggy
mean?
about a little bit of double.
Well, this is the only way. It's the only
Asha,
way that you can say
it's
that.
a
That's
little bit
possible.
of
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Alright, guys, one at a time, please. One at a time. One at a time.
It's only a little bit of double standard. Get over it.
It's
Right?
not. Yeah.
No,
Sexist.
Asha. Right, it's not sexist because men and women maintain certain double standards, and this double standard is a misogynistic double standard. I'm gonna say
okay,
it.
I'm glad that you actually had
I know,
that.
yeah, it is a misogynistic double standard.
Okay, that's
It is a
fine.
misogynistic
You
double
may
standard,
continue.
right? A guy that's got multiple baby moms can still be idealized as husband material, as we see in
Culture.
in our culture.
Yeah.
For example, Jay-Z is a known woman beater.
Yeah.
Jay-Z has multiple baby moms and he's known to gag women
And he cheated.
and he cheated, right? But he's still idealized.
Long hair.
Why is Jay-Z idealized?
Who idealizes Jay-Z?
When you are rich or wealthy or you have some form of status,
If he was a
you
normal
have.
guy.
So okay, let's bring this back to cheating then. Yeah. So are we then saying that
Rich men are allowed to cheat.
Yeah.
Cancel.
Yes, they are.
Right. So my whole view on cheating is that when I speak to old people that have been together for like 65 years and ask them how have you managed to cope for so long, they said that forgiveness has been like one of the biggest things.
Some on both sides.
Some of them have got been married.
Eyes right now.
You know what, right? I can because I know I've grown up a little bit, so I know that I'm probably going to repeat the same thing with man again. For the first 3 years, you're going to have a problem. You get me? And I can think about it. Let me go back to the old people first, right? So they said that the forgiveness, and whatever, and they have to forgive each other, and that's how they manage to get through. Because some people they've got like kids that are to other women and all kinds of things inside the relationship, and then at the end, they're together.
Just carry on.
Yeah. So if every man that cheated, you split up and then you move on to the next man. And then he cheats and you move on to the next man. And then he cheats and you move
By
on
the
to the
time
next
you're
man. By the time
45,
you're
your
done,
body
you
count
get
is
me?
high.
Yeah, you've been with a bag of man. You get me?
But
you're right.
Vice versa as well, same thing as well.
Yes.
So
So if you split up just because of the cheating, then you're gonna be moved.
Yeah, it's one of the storms. You get me? You put your relationship full pressure and whatever. It kind of you become a bit more solider. But then there comes a point where you're taking the fucking piss. You know what I mean? And then you have to let go.
Okay, so if your woman cheats on you, are you staying with her?
I'm glad you asked that
Are
question.
you staying with her?
He wouldn't.
Calm down, Asha.
That's
He wouldn't. You know why he
Asha, that
wouldn't?
leads on
He
to
wouldn't
another
be
one
able
of
to
our
cope.
topics.
Asha.
He wouldn't be able to cope with another man drilling at his woman.
Thank you.
Having her
Male fragility.
not nice the way that she does, but it's with him.
Are you gonna let me answer the question?
Okay, go on then.
What's the?
Go on, Ash. Shanice has got.
Oh, go on then.
Yeah, can I ask the question? So I don't have any children. I did say that I didn't want to be with a man that had children, but I ended up being with a man that had 2 children.
And then tough.
Okay,
I like
so
that.
You got.
Personally, I feel like until I'm in the predicament, I can't really.
You can't really speak on it.
Say how I'll act.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is not me excusing cheating because I really don't agree with it at all. I feel like if me and you had a rough period and we both went astray or one of us went astray and it was a one-time thing, maybe we can get to some form of resolution. But if I've been with you for a long time and you've been with someone for years behind my back and then a child comes into it as well, it's not happening.
No.
That's his period.
Okay, so
That's right.
That's love.
okay, hold
That's
on.
right.
Hold on.
That's an affair.
I like that
That's a
because
deadable
you
offense.
basically divided 2 issues
That's
because
two
one is
separate.
an affair,
One is
That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying.
and then
Yeah.
And then one is, you know what? Yeah, I'm not even bothered about this girl or guy, but for tonight, you will do, and then you just put it to the side. Like, yeah, I understand that. That makes sense.
So you were saying something.
No, so I was thinking about this on the way here because obviously I've seen the question. So it's like, okay, cool. I've talked about the family, and would I want to split up with my missus if I found out she was cheating?
yeah.
And I don't know. As much
It has to happen.
No. Think about it. Like, I'm in a very solid scenario right
Exactly.
now. Yeah. So my daughter doesn't live with me, but my boys do. I'm living in a scenario where I get to see both sides of the coin. So my daughter doesn't live with me. I cannot be the father I want to be for my daughter. It's literally impossible.
Okay, yeah.
So you would stay.
I probably would.
And put
Like,
yourself
I'm not
in the
even
because-
joking. But I probably would because the way that I'm able to raise my son, it's literally not fair on my daughter. Like the way I'm able to raise my boys,
Okay.
I cannot raise my daughter like that.
So you would stay inside the household, however.
Oh yeah, I might be Will Smith in the scenario, but what I'm getting
I need you to take that back, fam. As my brethren, you're gonna have to take that one back, fam.
no, as in I'm not co-signing. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I might
okay.
be putting on the road. What I'm getting at is like I want to be in the household where my children are.
So you wouldn't leave the house basically, but you would separate yourself from there.
And there's good
Potentially,
reasons
yeah.
why a man wouldn't want to leave his household, especially where his
Sons are
sons
concerned.
are concerned. Because it goes back to that whole discussion we was having about single parenthood. So now his son's growing up, he's either gonna have a potential stepdaddy or 20 stepdaddies. Because that's the reality of some girls literally go through stepdaddy after stepdaddy after stepdaddy and
Fall in love every 2 minutes.
they fall in love every two, and the reason why is because a lot of women that leave their baby fathers
It's not that beneficial.
end up in a rabbit hole situation where they're constantly getting into relationships,
They're looking for whatever it is that they're not finding.
but they're looking for one thing, right? And you see, when you go into a relationship looking for one thing, the other guy is gonna
Exploit it and bounce.
and exploit it and bounce,
Yeah.
especially the moment.
Men are, yeah,
All right, let me give you some game. The moment you tell a guy that you've got a child, right? Especially
They've
if
already
it's a guy,
categorized you.
if it's a gallus, right? Automatically, he's
man knows he can run up in the place.
he's
after
thinking
hours.
about an entrance strategy.
I feel like I'm getting too
And
much
the exit
privy
strategy.
to like.
You don't know none of this.
No, listen.
Where have you been?
When
At home, I
he's thinking about an entrance strategy and an exit strategy.
Okay.
Okay, there's always an exit strategy. The exit strategy is usually that bullshit excuse or
Opening yourselves up too
when he
much.
stops messaging you as much or whatever, because he knows that this is not ideal for him.
It's not gonna work.
Right.
It's not what he wants.
But he always knew that from the beginning.
And he knew that from the beginning,
But
but
he's-
it doesn't take away from the fact that you look like a good beat.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a fact, Shanice. I'm
Yeah,
glad
he's
you're not
right.
Shanice. No,
He's
you're
right.
actually.
So if you sit down and listen to man
not-
talking amongst themselves, you'll hear a lot worse than that.
That's
Yes.
horrible.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
still-
New this.
Yeah.
This ain't new.
but nevertheless,
well.
it
It's a fact.
it's a
It
fact.
is how it is.
But can a man
But now you have women.
still cheat or do whatever he's doing to
Yes.
wrap up and love his this main thing irritates? Okay, main.
Yeah, let's just forget
Okay,
it.
so
I
let's discuss this. I
don't
think that
Because that's the last one.
Let's
I
just
don't-
say,
I
can
don't- I
a
don't-
man in a relationship step out and still love his woman, and vice versa? Can a woman in a relationship step out and still love his woman?
I don't believe
Man.
so.
Personally,
Say why.
Okay, actually,
used to.
Do you know- do you know-
Too many.
Sorry, your names sound too similar, so we keep confused.
No, they don't.
There's the M16 again.
What were you saying?
go ahead.
Lose a train of thought. Can you say
You can't love. Yeah, you can't.
Why?
You cannot, because you know what love is.
Are you speaking as a woman or?
I'm speaking as both. Do you know
No,
what
no, no,
love
you
is?
can't speak as
Hey.
both. You can't speak as
No, because it don't matter if you're a man or a woman.
No,
love,
no, no,
love,
no,
is- love is
Ashina.
love.
No,
love is
Ashina.
one thing. Love is one thing. It doesn't have a gender.
So have you not
Like,
seen? Have you not seen that men and women love differently, and this is half of the issue? Men and women love differently.
So you
Yeah? I'm not using me as an example. What I'm saying is, men and women love differently. So the things that men will do for women that they love may be different from what women do.
But
for
everybody
men.
has different love languages.
Is it love though?
Regardless,
But
if
there's
it's
a
love,
general-
or is it
there's a
love?
general concept.
Listen,
Okay, but
it's an emotion. It doesn't mean it's love, right? So love is something that is not selfish. Yeah, it's all about.
That is
Oh.
so circumstantial.
No, it's not. Love is just love.
define love.
let the girl finish what she's saying.
No, let me land. Can I land?
Jesus.
Let me land.
Let her land. Yeah, let her land. Let Ashina land. Ashina land, please. The plane's level. Land. Jesus. Yeah. So love is
Yeah.
unconditional.
Yeah.
Love is pure.
It's not selfish. That's what it is.
Okay.
You get me?
Go
So
on.
it's not about yourself.
Okay.
So the minute you're thinking about yourself and getting off, and you're not thinking about the person who you claim you love,
Okay,
where's love come into that?
but hold on a second.
you know what I do?
When you're disrespecting your woman, where does love come into that?
What is disrespect?
What do you mean? Like, you'll know that you're going to be sleeping with somebody else, you're going to be laughing after your woman, and all them songs, wifey, what? And she's laughing after your woman. You don't think that
No,
that's disrespect?
first of all,
Jesus Christ.
how is a man laughing after you?
No, well, the woman.
It's disrespectful.
The woman. It's disrespectful.
Okay,
It's disrespectful.
sometimes
If you look
me-
for it, it's disrespectful to do
yeah.
that.
Sometimes they don't know. The
Yeah.
person that they're digging don't know that they've got next woman,
Because
right?
the
A
man's
lot
got bag of lies.
that's the only time where I think they can go out, do their thing, come back and be like it never happened.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, like
there's no
babes.
emotional attachment because the
Actually-
man ain't over there talking to Deborah
You know that
about
you've just
you.
been digging out somebody else and you come and brought your DNA into the
Oh
bed.
my dear.
You know what I mean?
Alright.
How kind of disrespect is that? Come on, are you telling me like you love me?
Actually, let me ask you
I
something.
do think men can separate that.
Actually, let me ask you.
Nine to
No,
five. Don't talk
ask
for
you.
me. Don't talk for me.
Let me ask you something. Do you think as a woman you can just go out on a night out, feel like, sure, I want some body tonight, see a guy, spot him out, and just say, yo, I want some, come, give me that, and then go home, take a beat, and then just tell him, yo, you need to get a taxi and go.
If I was that way,
And tomorrow morning you wake up, you don't feel no type of way. It was just
Do you know how many women do that on a fucking on a
Yeah, so
weekend?
you're going on like.
You get me?
okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But how do they feel after?
We can't
Who knows?
Yeah, we can't
You
speak
get
on
me?
behalf of
You know what I
all
mean?
women's feelings.
Some of them can't even
Some are
remember who
ruthless.
you are. You know what I mean?
So speak on your own.
Feelings that I personally
You
You barely
do
people
that.
there. You know what I mean?
No, without
You know?
being personal, but without being too personal. Yeah.
Land.
But
Do
I'm
you
an
think-
emotional person, so I can't
Exactly.
disconnect
And
sexually.
Not
And you-
everybody.
Can you disconnect sexually?
Can I? Yeah, I can.
I can't.
How far?
If I want to.
Oh gosh, why is there levels now?
So
You asked me,
yes.
You asked me a question, and I
Actually,
said yeah.
let me
If I
ask you.
want-
You
if I
said
want
you
to
can disconnect, right?
I can disconnect.
But
if
are
I
you
want
okay
to.
with sharing? Are you okay with sharing
Am I okay with sharing?
body? Yeah.
No.
Well, we already discussed this, didn't we? I don't
You're not.
share panty.
So how-
I don't share sex toys.
So
I
that
don't
means
share
you're
pudding.
connected.
No, it means that's mine, and I don't want to
talking
share it.
about-
That means you're connected
Is
to
she
it by
not-
saying it's yours.
But is she not
hygiene.
talking about
I'm
her
talking
main
about
man?
my main man, yeah.
We're talking about side things. Are we not talking about cheating? What are we on about?
Cheating, yeah. What are we on about?
So we're talking
You
about.
want somewhere different?
She's like, I don't know
You
what
asked
So
me.
that thing about not sharing, and earlier when you said that was more from like a hygiene perspective, it wasn't
Yeah.
like a love. Remember you were
Yeah,
saying
hygiene, yeah.
you were saying
No, what I'm saying is,
Yeah, I don't-
you as a
yeah.
woman cannot
But
just
if
go
I-
out there and text.
You can't say you can't tell her that. You can't say she
If I
cannot. She can
wanted
if she
to-
wants.
If I wanted
You
to,
can't
I
do it
can.
without having some form of emotional
What kind of
attachment.
emotion do I need, or whether I need to come?
Oh jeez. Aye, so cool.
No,
Repeat.
after you bust your nut, there's some form of emotion.
Bye. Yeah, bye. Why are you here? Why are you still here?
And how long can you
That's-
maintain that?
That's the emotion.
And how many girls can maintain
It's
that?
just a one-time thing.
No,
It's-
Tinashe.
What are we talking about? here?
Tinashe. Ashina is an anomaly.
Exactly, you're an anomaly.
That's what I'm saying. You can't say that for everybody.
Yeah, so hold on.
I
What,
just
what
lied.
I would say
Google
is,
that
if you were
word.
to generalize, there are some women that are able to do that just
Yes.
fine, but more.
But
women-
there's an
more
underlying
women-
issue.
That's
right.
strange.
Yeah, there's range.
No, they're not strange. They've got underlying issues, esteem
Can we
issues,
do some?
trauma.
Can we do some statistics on
That's
this then? Because this is the
bullshit.
generalisation.
So let's
That
just-
is a massive trivialization.
Let's just
Yeah.
clarify
Yeah,
that.
there's a stats
It's not a
behind it.
generalization.
It is.
I'm just saying to you, any girl that is balanced, that's been raised right, etc., will not just go out there and fling out the something without.
They will not do it,
right?
But they probably can't.
Any girl, right?
So let's just clarify. I don't do that, BA. I don't behave like that. I'm always in a relationship.
So you don't do that.
So
Why don't you do that?
Why don't I do it?
Because you can't.
No.
Are you serious?
No. Why don't you do that?
I choose not to do that because so for example, for example, then like so my first relationship was like when I was young, you know, whatever. I had my first son. Second relationship that lasted for 13 years. So and then after that, you know, it's always been a relationship. So I like the idea of
being in a relationship.
Being in a relationship.
By the way.
No. I enjoy you know, coming home together and, you know, we plan the weekend out, you know what I mean? I enjoy that. That's what I'm used to. Right? However, that doesn't mean that if I want to be a whore or I want to, you know, get dirty or I want to do what I want to do, if I'm single, that I can't go
if you're single.
If I'm single, I can't go and do what I want to do. You get me? And feel no way. You get me? Because I mean, why do you think? Why do men feel that? They're so special.
No, it's not about special, right? Let me talk to all the females in here, right?
Am I not female?
Shanice. No, I'm just referring to everybody. Shanice, right? How many of you can go out there? I'm trying to be politically correct.
Can I say one more thing? Like, I know, you know, obviously I'm a female. I have lots of female friends and I speak to females on a regular basis. You know how many of them are sexing 3 men in one day?
Okay, right. How many of you can sex 3 men in one day and go to sleep with a good conscience and not feel like shit?
They go to sleep fine. They're happy about it. You get me? The pockets are fat.
Asha, can you go?
We're talking about there's women that are.
Can you take 3 men?
Let's think about
Asha, can you take 3 men and go to sleep?
That's me. No, I can't.
Why not?
That's her personally.
That's me personally.
Yeah.
Okay, can you take 3 men?
I wouldn't dream of taking 3 men and catching
Charlie,
and BV.
can you take 3 men?
But you are right. But you are the representation.
But if
you are the representation. Wait. You're not owning enough responsibility in this chat right now. You are not representative of all females, but you are the representatives on this chat. So we have to use y'all as the example.
But we have friends and we know what people say.
The masses or the minorities?
Pardon? The masses.
So you're saying the masses are out here doing
There's only two of my friends that I know that are in relationships and they're loyal. You get me? The rest of them have got side dick. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. Anyway, it's not a joke.
You asked me a question. I can't do it.
Why
I wouldn't do it because I'm not set up like that.
Thrush, BV. That's what you would end up with.
Stop it, not going there.
Okay, yeah, this is not a sexual conversation. But nevertheless,
break real hard. Can we move on to the next question, please?
What was the next question?
The last question was to do with what can we do
to improve? Wasn't it? Yeah.
So that Lord, what can we do
to improve? Alright.
You are hot today.
Alright, so the last question is what should the opposite sex do to improve? Are you just going to talk over me? Top nice.
Sorry, I'm trying to make friends with Asha.
She's fine. Beat him up after that.
Alright, okay.
What should the opposite sex do to improve and build better relationships? Do you want to start with males first or females?
Males.
Okay, let's start with males.
They have to be males.
Let's start with males.
Talk with women then if you want.
Okay,
Talk with women.
No, let them start.
Let him start.
Okay.
Go on, ladies.
I think in a general, this relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, communication was obviously key.
Let's build on that.
Yeah.
What do you mean communication?
I think
because I found that women
just say communication.
women
it a
just
day.
say communication. From my own personal standpoint, women say communication, but y'all are not actually better at communicating.
Yeah.
There's one thing I've noticed is women. I've been brought up to say women are better at communicating than men, but you're really not.
Women like to think they're better.
Women
than
like
men.
to think they are. Me and him communicate better than 2 other women talking to each other. They feel like.
Well, I don't know about women.
The foolishness that's said or not said. Like communication should be simple. It should be A to B.
Black.
Yeah,
or white.
and that's generally how men talk. Yeah, women are not.
No, we're talking about in the relationship.
When you're talking about communication in a relationship, what do you actually mean? Yeah, I was getting there.
I think
Like, where do men fail where communication is concerned?
There, thank you.
Women, men don't really express how they feel.
Yeah, let her finish. Go on.
Oh God, Jesus Christ!
Go on.
Nobody can laugh.
Go on anyway. You're dating a man. You're dating a man.
I'm talking about men and
I
how
understand.
they can improve.
Go on,
Man ain't
go on.
mature,
Go on.
right? So you're in
Go
a
on,
relationship. You're with a man,
Yeah.
and he's talking to him. Let's say the guy has feelings for you, or he feels some kind of connection with you. Man ain't gonna say that for time.
Go on. Carry on. Carry on. Yes.
A lot of men keep in how they feel emotionally, and that's the only way. That's one of the ways I think men can improve on a relationship standpoint.
You can go first.
Man can chat.
Especially because my next man's telling your girl all kinds of things.
You can
That
go first.
guy's lying. Don't believe that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We know that. We know that. But at least
Shanice can talk.
Shanice? Oh.
What can men do to improve relationships?
To be honest with you, I agree, communication. I think how I feel goes out to men and women. I feel like you need to deal with any personal healing
Facts.
that can affect a relationship before you even start to give anyone energy that you're interested.
yeah, leave your baggage over there.
Yeah, I have. No, I have to agree with you. I think the problem with us as men, we don't necessarily recognize the traumas or how our traumas, personal
Because we're
traumas.
told to get on with things.
We're just told to get on with things. So
Carry your baggage.
it's frustrating because as a man, especially, and more so for men in their early 20s, they're not going to see that.
Yeah, the
But
For me,
understand
I started
I
seeing that in my 30s.
I didn't start talking about trauma until literally the other day.
Yeah.
You get
Literally the other day.
Yeah.
With other men as well.
Okay,
Like,
so
it
that's
was-
another problem.
Yeah,
So-
because we're
so-
brought up to
Like me and Anton has had conversations where we both kind of recognize, like, boy,
it's a big deal.
this is a big deal as men.
I've not got into those conversations literally
with
until my
other,
30s.
because there's a lot of 20-odd-year-olds walking around there with bare issues, and,
Yeah.
Bare
and
issues.
they get into relationships, and then they kind of deflect that on women.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're not a mature woman,
the other,
That's
you
where
wouldn't
the
know.
gaslighting comes from
Yeah.
because
The
it's
other-
like they're trying to project
the
their.
other issue
Yeah.
is for a guy, you need to be able to find a safe space to be able
Exactly.
to do so. Another, because you might not want to offload on a woman initially because
Depends.
Women have a
you feel
thing about,
vulnerable,
yeah.
and women are sometimes women are vindictive.
they can
so
be.
that stuff,
Yeah.
They use that
so those
against
things will
you.
come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
So
They'll use
unless you've got a guy friend which you can bounce these things off.
We're talking about healthy.
Yeah, but you hear what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Then you're not necessarily going to have to deal with this, which is going to affect your communication.
Facts.
The next thing.
Yeah.
That I feel that men need to trust us more as well.
Depends.
Obviously, I know, as you just said, there's some vindictive women out there as well. But when a woman's telling you something, it's not always so that she can be in control or she's in the lead or whatever. It's sometimes they're trying to protect you from things that you may not be able to see. So I feel like you guys need to trust in us a bit more as well.
Can I speak on that, Shanice? I think I totally agree with that. And I think as men we always tell this to each other, like your woman can see certain things about your virgin that you can't see. Right. And at the same time, in relationships sometimes women or certain women fail to, I'm not saying put a man on a pedestal,
Come again.
Let him finish. Let him land.
but sometimes women can, in their power as a woman, speak or come across to men in a way that's condescending.
I get that.
Yeah, big time. A lot of women do that.
A lot of women do that. A lot of, and you have to consider, especially us as black men.
You're already crushed.
I started thinking about my life and my future in my late 20s, in my 30s. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really have it together. I don't have it together.
That's the next point I was going to say. Is
so
that half of people trying to have a relationship is just not going to work. You have to be whole in yourself.
you have to be holding yourself.
If you're looking for somebody else to fulfill you, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Yeah. So you need whole people.
So it's like sometimes I find that because of that deviation that you find that black women by the time they get to 30 are doing okay in life. Black women by the time they get to 30, you've only got the Antons that went to uni and, do you know what I mean?
And there's a lot of black women that look down on certain men, where they don't allow them
because
to
they
shine.
were raised in a very feminine household that didn't necessarily teach them how to upraise a man. If you didn't grow up seeing your mum put your dad on a pedestal, what do you know about putting a man on a pedestal? You've grown up hearing that you're an independent girl. Don't dip. How many black girls have you heard saying, "My mom told me don't depend on the man. Make sure that you've got your own money."
It's
blah blah blah. And when you go in a dance and you hear, "My daddy least I'm a problem," and you hear to the left, and you hear.
That's all music. That's it. You don't go no further than music.
Okay. But also you have women that train their man. You don't depend on a woman. Make sure you can cook your food so that you can't give your shit.
Yeah, but that's
make sure you can iron your own clothes and whatever. So it's the same thing.
But that's the thing. It's only a few men that, and the thing is,
every Jamaican man that I know, their parents have taught them to cook, clean, and do everything for themselves.
Mostly, it only right. The man them that had their dad telling them, "Yo, don't make no girl style you. Don't make no girl clone," right? They're the man them that are usually firm, and then you got the man them that were grown.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Right, you got the man them that were grown with the mum that were told respect women. Right, two different type of man. You've got that man that's the man in the house, and then you've got that man that's the man, but he has been raised by feminine energy. So he's not necessarily the alpha male.
They're not balanced
in the house because he's more gonna look up to you as a woman to fulfill his mom's role, because he hasn't quite got over his mom's role, because all he's ever known is the love that he got from his mom. But because mom's not there now and you're there, you're gonna have to play that role, and that's where the word mama man comes from.
Can I just ask this pedestal thing that about
she was stuck on that.
I've been stuck on it for a bit.
I think you got a beef with me.
Yeah, because I feel like you coming from, I suppose it's the man perspective, but a woman's supposed to put a man on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But what about the woman being put on a pedestal?
Women are normally put on pedestals naturally.
Women are normally put on
Women are
pedestals.
always put. But
That's what I
Actually,
So you feel
Asha,
like
do you know Chris Rock
should
said
they both not like two together should be uplifting?
Yeah, two together should be uplifting. But
You're talking about what they
situation right now.
I am.
You are situation.
What did you say?
All lives matter. Remember, Chris Rock made a point, right? It was like men are not loved unconditionally.
Okay.
A guy has to have a big penis or money or a big house or a big car in order. Do you know what I mean? He has to be doing something.
I don't feel that way.
Okay, personally, I understand that, but if you ask the man them, every man that watched that comedy sketch,
they can relate to it.
Is like, yeah, 100.
Yeah.
As a man, it might not be the case, but it's how we feel. So it might not be the truth,
And it's how we are made to feel.
Yeah, that's how we get.
Okay, how is it that you men think that women can improve? Because
So
obviously,
you're switching it around now.
yeah.
How women can improve. I think
That's kind of enemy number one here. I personally
Women can-
think that.
lift them up and put them on
Let
the
me go
pedestal.
first.
I'll go first.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright, go on then.
I think women can
Trying to
improve
save
by taking accountability. I think accountability, the word accountability is almost like poison to women.
How so? Who said? Oh, carry on.
I agree.
Shanice, yeah, it's that guilty laughter. Walk on, Shanice.
I've grown.
Go on.
I take accountability, definitely.
Women do not take accountability
Accountability for what?
What? Yeah.
in general.
Anything that they do
right
wrong.
now.
Yeah, exactly, just there.
Just asking.
Yeah.
But carry on.
No, he's go on.
Carry on.
Women
Let me land.
generally.
Land, yeah.
Right, okay. Let's try and intellectualize this, right? In general, accountability again is something that comes from being a balanced individual and being a balanced child. And if you've been raised in an environment that doesn't have a particular family structure, accountability is something that you're going to have an issue with. And as a woman, if you are raised to be Miss Independent, don't depend on no man, you are not going to take accountability from no man, because you've been told not to take talk from the man. So the moment a guy calls you out, you're going to be, I've been in situations where I know that I'm in the right, but I have to retreat because I know that a woman is naturally just not going to give in. And Shanice is laughing because she knows I'm talking the truth.
Shanice is laughing because she knows that she's taken accountability, and men probably flip the scripts on her.
Yeah.
An example of women not taking accountability right now.
Literally. Can somebody take some accountability?
No, but I do understand what you're
I've
saying.
actually found that women, whether they come from a 2-parent household or 1-parent household, they don't take accountability in general.
Okay, I may be wrong.
I think.
Why can't you just accept when you're wrong?
Hold on.
No, women don't.
Women don't.
How many times do you say sorry in a relationship? Women don't say sorry. And when they do say sorry,
What did you say?
exactly.
What did you say? Wait, what did you say?
What?
You don't have to what?
Because I'm always right.
Okay.
No, but are you being extra?
Yeah.
She's being extra.
But she's not being extra.
No, she's not.
Most of the time I am right though. Do you get me? And here,
What do you mean?
most of the time.
Everybody thinks that. That's the point.
No, they don't.
No,
I don't think that.
No, because a man will always come back and say, you know what, I looked into what you said, and for real.
No,
what you're saying
because
is right.
if a man says something to me,
Not because it's backing down, but because I was.
let's say I say something to a guy and the guy gets offended. I don't want for a man that I'm with to be offended for anything that I say. So I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna think about that for days on end, thinking, oh man, what did I say? How will I never say that again? Because I don't want no man I'm with to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Did you say sorry though?
Yeah. I always say, I always say sorry.
I've just noticed that
I heard.
from the examples that I've seen around me, and as I said, it doesn't necessarily seem to be whether it's 1-parent or 2. It doesn't seem to be.
I understand.
I've just noticed that women in general.
Ain't that funny that you
It's a
say that?
massive
But I think
Do you
people
think
around
personally
me-
as a woman you take accountability, especially in a relationship situation?
Yeah. But I just think that's just my personality is I was raised in a way to apologise when I'm wrong and effectively I'm really good at communicating in a relationship. I have no issues.
If you're wrong, you're wrong, innit?
Yeah,
you can
there's
admit
nothing.
that.
I ain't got no ego that I'm going to be like, oh, I can't admit I'm wrong.
I actually think they do take accountability. They just don't tell you.
Yeah, you do take accountability. You do take accountability inside.
Yes.
But it's one of them
It
ones
takes 3
where
weeks to work it out.
you know when you fight with your brother,
I don't know.
and you're sorry, but you don't tell him you're sorry.
Yes,
but
it's just move on.
if I will start talking again.
Yes.
No. If
Or
something
you just
happens,
give him
I'ma say it,
you-
and I'ma tell you that I'll be fit.
Again.
If 2 o'clock, it could be 2 o'clock, and I'll be like,
No,
you know what?
Charlie, women don't do that. Not
Okay,
on planet
so we're
Earth.
talking about.
Okay, we can't generalize, but from your
can't
personal
generalise.
experience.
That's I get you.
I say from
Anton.
his personal experience.
Anton,
Yeah.
women do not like.
And okay.
Women
fair
don't
enough.
say I'm sorry.
Okay.
I've heard I'm sorry.
Or alright, I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't
yes.
like people
Alright,
that say I'm sorry, but-
yes, but women don't generally say I'm wrong.
People,
Go on.
I don't need to get kind of deep here, but you need to take into account here that people, we are our parents' children, we are our own person. There's so many factors that contribute to how we are. There's also star signs. Like I'm a big believer in that, and I feel like sometimes I understand that a lot of women. I feel like maybe a majority of women might not take accountability, but I feel that not everyone gets to that that self-realization where they need to start what's the word? Like basically me, I can be very defensive when I'm passionate about something. I've been made aware of it, so what I try to do now is recognize it and try to channel how I feel better.
What, doing shadow work?
People come to that level of, is it, you could say it's healing or I don't know, just growing as a person. So I feel like there's a lot of reasons why people are the way they are as well. It's not only just a gender thing where it's male or female. There's a lot of contributing factors. Because I'm going to use my example. I was told that whenever I was upset about something, my energy was as if I was talking to Mandem. Like I was coming off to my boyfriend, like on crud, and
Wow.
Yeah. Talk to me like that. So I had to recognize that I need to approach the situation better, and I did that. But then in that case, it still didn't change how he responded. But I was able to recognize where I was wrong, and I applied it.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So I feel like it's whether people want to recognize certain things within themselves.
I think sometimes women recognize, but they don't actually say, yeah, you know what, I get you, I'm going to change this. They'll just do it. But then it's frustrating because we as man, if I do something wrong,
Yo, let me know.
and you call me out, you're going to let me know, and you're going to want me to acknowledge it and to say I'm sorry
Every step.
and to show you that
I'm making changes.
I'm making
Do men
changes.
actually tell women when they're upset, or do they just bend up their face and go about their business and not say anything?
We do verbalize.
Not really, do you?
No.
You don't really go deep into your feelings. So you know what, you're gonna hurt my feelings.
If I care about you enough, I will tell you. I don't like this.
Yeah, but that's not enough. Like,
What do you want, blood?
you're so, I don't like this. That's you know.
No,
you don't-
no,
you
what
don't
I'm
get
saying
me.
is,
Talk to me
I
properly.
don't like this. I mean, obviously, we will have a proper conversation, but the point is, we do know how to verbalize our frustrations. We do know how to put it across. However, generally, as a man, I mean, from experience, I feel like women generally do not, verbally at least, take accountability. More so based on their expectations when the shoe's on the other foot. They want a man to literally
Go step by step.
go step by step and show them that, yeah, I acknowledge what you're saying, I'm
I know
sorry,
I'm wrong.
and if
I
you
know
don't
when I
say you're
went
sorry,
left at
you know,
17:47.
yeah.
And what?
If you don't say you're sorry, you're not getting none tonight, or I'm not even talking to you for the next 5 days, much less. Do you know what I mean? That punishment where you know you're being ridiculous, like you've made your point, but you're still being a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? You get my point, right? Women go hard when they've got an issue. Us men,
Because they're the-
us,
because the
Anton,
issue's not
how many
just one
times as a
issue.
man have you just had to say, you know what, yeah,
Sure.
I've made my point, I'm not gonna get a sorry.
Because it's just one issue where your issues are backdated from about 3 months ago.
That's not true.
That's
It
not
is, you've
true.
got-
Women bring
got
up
shit
shit from 5
Okay,
years
so hold on.
ago.
Let's talk about this.
This is number 2.
Yeah, so that's so that part isn't true. What you'll find with a lot of men is going back to your previous issue of saying, okay, men communication etc. A lot of guys don't say everything that they're supposed to say. Yeah. So you saying, okay, you've got 3,000 issues and we have 2. It's not the case. We've obviously been taught
bury
not
it.
to. We've been taught as guys not to be as expressive about those scenarios.
So you buried it, so the girl don't know about it. And then you
Okay, but my point about but
Yeah, but at the same time,
No, because
no.
from
Women also
3 months
contribute.
from 3 months earlier, we've been telling you about the same issue over and over again. Nothing's
but
changed.
guess what?
You get me?
Your nostrils are flaring.
And they get.
That's getting good because just so you know it.
No, right.
Say that I'm getting aggressive.
You see, you can nag.
Don't
You can,
try me, my girl.
no, you can nag. You can nag.
Yeah,
Right.
You're not allowed to know.
If a man
don't
nags,
nag.
a girl's almost gonna emasculate you and say, "Oh, why do you keep moaning like some gal?"
Yeah, you can't do that.
You get me? So women
It's
play
true
on that.
though.
True or false?
Not for me, I don't know.
Well, no.
I've
Once
never
we're speaking about acting like a girl and stuff, I mean, men are starting to act a bit more feminine these
Let's move
days,
into
aren't
that.
they?
So, okay, then.
Feminine.
So,
Yeah. Oh shit, we don't armpits and everything.
Where have you been meeting
Can we
this?
conclude this?
just wrap your.
Can we wrap up this topic?
I don't know none of these men. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? No, let finish your point. Go on. You're the special guest on the show today. So what? Let her land. Let her land.
Hold up. Cut.
What?
It's because we're on bank. Black love and black family structure. Is there enough representation of black couples in our society or in our community?
No.
No.
This brings me back to when I posted a status a few years ago. I was like, yo, I just love to see when I
Oh,
see
yes.
black
Yes.
love, and I
You got
got shot down.
What did people say to you?
Understand.
I got set on fire because
you-
people
why?
were like, "Oh, black love is discriminated," which was pretty much an example of it was pretty much the all lives matter.
The issue you have in this scenario is it wouldn't be a speaking point if it wasn't an issue. If if you get what I mean. So if there were more representations of the black family structure and or black relationships, and you know people went elsewhere and did blah blah blah, whatever it is, it's cool. But when you look at the statistics and they say that you know a black guy is how many more times likely to settle down with somebody else, then for it in the black home that potentially becomes an issue or at least a point for discussion.
Okay, so what are the reasons why there's such a small representation that's not reflective of the black population?
Okay.
Why don't you have enough black couples?
Personally, I feel that there's more African families that are still together in comparison to Caribbean. Like when I hear that Caribbean parents are still together and married, I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. Because I feel like it's not very common. I always feel like even when mom came in the kitchen and she heard me say that your parents are still together, she goes, I bet he's from Africa. I was like, yeah, he is.
Wow.
Yeah, but
it's an anomaly.
Yeah, okay.
Carry on, Sean.
Sorry, go on.
Really?
No, I mean Anton was about to say his parents are still together as well, but that's an anomaly.
I know a few Caribbean that are, so it's like I was very shocked. So like even when he said his are, I was like, wow, that's like I don't know, it's still under 10 that I'm aware of, but
Wow.
African families for me that are always still together.
Okay.
Are they happily together then?
Well, maybe that's
What's the difference?
Issue. So we're talking
Are
about.
we talking about together or happily?
Yeah, but are we talking about again westernized standards,
Westernized
African
standards
style
yeah.
relationships?
That too, I think that plays a part. Yes.
Because in the Western world, what your priorities are in a relationship may be different. Again, we discussed this earlier.
Yeah.
To what they're going to be elsewhere.
Okay, so African girls in general have got different levels of tolerance to westernized girls. So
Right,
a
like
girl
zero
with your
tolerance.
No, it depends what you're talking about, though.
For example, your typical African girl who lives according to her cultural values compared to your westernized girl. First of all, when I talk to my friends that I went to school with in general, when they ask me about relationships or whatever, they say to me, are you married? They don't say, are you in a relationship? Because the majority of them are married. More so, your typical African girl, if she's in a relationship, a serious relationship, more so if she's got children, she's not likely going to end up in a single parent situation. Simply because she's not leaving her man for the same reasons that your typical westernized girl is going to leave her man. So
you're talking about African girls in Africa, African girls over here.
not even over here.
In general.
Like, I mean, the ones that live according to the African culture. I
Right.
think the same applies even in the Asian, in the Asian culture. Do you know what I mean? That they have, there's more value to the family structure. So before you decide that you're gonna leave your man, your mom's gonna be like, what did he do? Did he beat you up? Okay, yeah, if he beat you up, then yeah, left him. What did he do? Did he get some pum pum on road? Sure. Because guess what, right?
Yes, man.
Actually,
And then I
when you talk
my
to
Western self now,
Alright.
I say, well, you'll sleep with him then.
you know, you as a big woman, right? You're in your 30s. When you talk to your aunties that are in their 40s or 50s, right? There's certain things that they'll tell you that you might not necessarily understand, but it makes sense. For example, where man is concerned, because they're more experienced. Some of the girls in our generation don't necessarily have that grounding from the elders. So they don't have the aunties to tell them, what did he do? They don't have the aunties to call them out and say, so, okay, are you cooking for your man? Are you cleaning for your man? Are you... As a woman, generally, in our society, if you decide, say, you're going to get married to me, you're going to go live with my mom before I marry you. And when you live with my mom, you're going
To learn to be your mother.
The westernized side is coming out of you right now.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to, because you as a mum, you got a son. How many sons have you got?
Two sons,
Right.
2 girls. Yeah.
When your sons go out there, you want to know that the girl that your son's gonna marry has values that reflect your values, because you know how you grew your sons.
100%.
Would you be happy to know that you've got your son and he's dealing with some girl, and this girl can't cook, she lives dirty, her yard looks nasty?
Obviously, I'm not going to be happy with that. But
You're not going to be happy.
No.
Why? Are you
But
not
will
gonna be
you be
happy?
like, but if you're happy, if she loves you or you love her, it's
Or
fine.
are you going to be
Is that
like,
what
you need to leave that
No,
little
I'm
dirty
asking.
girl and get yourself a proper girl that can cook for you? And
No, but what would you say in that situation?
as a mum,
Well, if she's dirty, I mean, why is she dirty anyway? Like, how
No.
you come to
Ah.
that? Basically, we can't cope with a dirty girl. You get me? Because that's hard.
now I'm asking you,
That's
what are you
hard
telling
to-
your boy as a mum? What are you telling your boy as a mum? What kind of girl do you want your boy to settle with?
Listen, I've tried to school my son on what kind of girl I want him to have, and people say to me, "Don't try to get involved in it, what you know, and what you
No,
know,
but
whatever."
you're
Just
his
like
mum.
I can't help that coming.
Everything
Yeah.
that he knows about women, he knows it from you, because you are the first woman. You're the first woman that he's idealized. You're the first woman that he fell in love with. Right? So, where love is concerned,
So I tell him all the time what kind of girl I want him to have.
Because Ashley's really said, put the
I tell him what kind of woman I want him to have.
you're telling what
Yeah.
kind of way.
That I would ideally
And
like him
more
to
so-
have. And that's going to be better for
And
him.
also, the way you are with him is a reflection of the woman that you'd want your son to marry and have your grandchildren to. So,
Yeah.
What does this have to do with black couples?
Right, so this is what I want to say. So for us here, black couples are underrepresented in the media. That has a direct impact on
not just in the media.
not just in the media, but I think there's a lie. Right, so for example, in America, Africa, Jamaica, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of black couples that are married. There's a lot. Of
Now let's talk about Sheffield, right?
Right, okay, Sheffield. Okay.
We zoom in on Sheffield,
Okay.
and you look at your daughter. How old is your daughter?
12,
And your daughter
7.
7, right? How many mixed race friends?
Lots, because in Sheffield there is a culture of interracial relationships. That's quite a. Cause
I don't know what you're smiling.
so my mom's from Liverpool. Like, look, there's mixed race relationships everywhere.
Yeah.
I think coming from Liverpool to Manchester to seeing how big the black community is in Manchester, and then coming to Sheffield
And seeing the
there is a
flip side.
huge. There's a lot of interracial relationships. I've never really seen
Black
There's a lot of them.
is
I'm
rare.
stumbling over my words because I don't want to be offensive, but I do feel like there is a lot of interracial relationships here. There's a lot of white women with black men. I've said it.
And why do you think that's the case? Why do you think that black men, especially in a city like Sheffield, why do you think there's do you think that there's an overrepresentation of black men that are with white women
Yeah.
relative? Okay, I want everybody to listen to my question carefully so nobody doesn't misconstrue. Do you think that there's an overrepresentation of black men that are with or that are in relationships with white women relative to black men that are in relationships or have children to black women?
You already know the answer to that question.
Yes.
And in a city like Sheffield, why do you think that's the case?
I think it's because the black community is a little bit.
Do you
There
think
is
that?
a really
Alright, do you think that black men?
Black community.
Right.
I'm
So obviously, I know black females from Sheffield, yeah? And their experience of black males in Sheffield has not necessarily been
Good.
too great. And when I talk
From
about
you
black
know,
males,
chef man, careful what you say.
I'm sorry, hold it. Yeah, this is not my account. I wasn't here.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting. This is secondhand information. I'm not talking about. They wasn't talking about Jamaicans.
Yeah.
They wasn't talking about African people. They were talking about the black my people's the
Black
British.
British.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So it's the whole she's too black. She ain't got her own hair, or I don't like her hair, or you know what, she knows, or all of those things that I've literally had first-hand reports from. Yeah, this is what I got while I was growing up. There was no man really interested in me like that on a serious level, and they would prefer somebody else of a, you know, who Caucasians, for example.
Let's not sugarcoat things.
I'm not sure. So
all the black guys that I grew up with ended up with black women.
How's he
and stuff?
What's he
sugarcoating? I don't know what's he sugarcoating.
I didn't sugarcoat.
No, you just said Caucasian.
That's why I did.
No, but let's get real. You had your brownings as well.
Oh, I wasn't okay, but I'm not describing.
No, we're talking about black men.
Yeah, right. Okay.
What do the majority of black men idealize?
Mixed race girls
Mixed race girls.
in Sheffield, yeah.
I'm not going to say in Sheffield because I didn't grow up here, so I can't speak for the Sheffield man.
So when I
then.
came from Manchester to Sheffield, I was quite surprised when I was going on a night out that they was playing niche music that was like idealising mixed race girls. Because you're my brownie.
I want to take a bone browning home.
All this was going on. Now this is the culture. This is what everyone's listening to in the well. When I came, everyone's listening to this. So it's like an indoctrination. If this is it's a trend. It's a thing that, you know. Oh, get yourself a browning, and there's whole songs to it. I've never come across that before. That was bizarre.
Do you think that there's something about the history of Sheffield that might explain the affinity for white women to black men?
I think.
Like historically.
Yeah, I think there's a the black community isn't as strong here as it is with other cities. As cohesive. Yeah, because in the 80s they moved the black community further apart from the city centre because they'd seen Liverpool rioting, London rioting, other places.
We were saying this earlier.
Yeah, and they purposely saw that and didn't want the black community to do that, so they further pushed them out, so it kind of distanced black people from
each other.
Yeah, and I think then on top of that, if you've got this culture of mixed race people being put on a pedestal,
it's more desirable somehow to men. But then again, it's not just men.
Also, Anthony, you're saying about black British and stuff. When the Jamaicans came in, the black British girls didn't want the black British men anymore. They wanted the Jamaican man. Okay. Yeah, because, you know, they cook, they clean, you know, they're loving and all that. They do all the stuff what British men wasn't doing at the time. You get me? I mean, if you were talking about black relationships versus. No, but it's because you're talking about black British.
How do you differentiate? How do you differentiate between black British men and Jamaican men?
They're completely different.
In what sense?
In just the way how they do stuff.
Go on, elaborate. Apart from that,
what's the word again?
Apart from cooking and cleaning,
you need to
land.
Yeah, you need to land.
Okay. Apart from, you know, we know that Jamaican men, you know, are notorious for cheating and stuff like that. But right, we know this. We know this, right? Right? No, but they are, aren't they? Come on, right? But they're
very. Did you say black British or Jamaican?
No, Jamaican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're so loving. Like they will oil your foot and cream your foot. You will mention foot to a British man and say, "What kind of foot?" You get me? They're not touching your foot. Yeah, they do all.
You know, Pulp Fiction. You know,
you know, they're cooking and they cook. You know, and now because growing up and I've being around more British men, obviously I seen that the cooking as well, whatever. But back in the day, most you could get was maybe corned beef and rice.
So hold on a second.
I'm talking about back in the day, guys.
Yeah, but your black British man, they identify as Jamaican and they were raised by Jamaican women. So
what makes you Jamaican then?
Separate podcast.
No, I'm talking like them that come off.
Spoke like that last week.
Landed here.
Okay,
I'm not talking about because Jamaican heritage. Talking like the ones that come from Jamaica.
But that does none of that.
And then they come with a sexy voice.
But none of that. None of that changes the statistic that we were talking about.
It's still the same.
Right? No. I was getting to it because you didn't let me come into it. And then
right.
And then the Jamaican men now, when they want to get their stay over here, they claim that the black women wasn't getting them the stay, so they started to do white women. Yeah, and even now
the stay. Okay.
Yeah, so and even now they will say that no more time when if you get married to a white woman over here, she'll sort out your papers where a black woman doesn't.
It's a whole different podcast.
Yeah, so so there's that as well. There's all. I'm just saying what I've been told. You get me? Because I never had to get married for my stay. Okay, I'm just repeating what I was told. All down to yesterday, somebody said the same thing.
Oof.
Yeah. So when I sort out the papers,
but I do think there's a misrepresentation there. I don't think it's. But if you haven't grown up around strong relationships that are healthy and have worked, that you've seen that they look happy on the surface, I can't tell you what's going on below the surface. I do think that there isn't that much out there for black couple or black love.
Okay, so when you talk about...
Pardon?
Yeah, I said there's not enough.
When you talk about...
There's a big push on trying to show that there's no racism by having interracial relationships. And there's not enough black people, black women and black men that are even celebrating each other to begin with.
Do you think that's the reason why you've got so many pretty black girls that are with white guys?
I don't know.
Because I have personally spoken to black women.
This conversation is going to
I have personally spoken to black women that have said, in school growing up, they weren't necessarily celebrated by black men.
This is the point I was trying to make earlier.
Well, you didn't obviously make a good point, Anton. He didn't land.
That was the point.
Yeah, I've spoken to a good amount of black girls that say that they weren't necessarily celebrated by black men. We're talking about school days. And the black men that they got with weren't necessarily interested in offering them anything more than just sex. And this is why some black women...
You said school days?
Yeah.
What else have we got to offer?
School days are important. So if you think that coming up in your teenage years and there is no reinforcement that somebody actually likes you, that is going to have an impact on your behaviour for both black men and black women. So hold on. So I generally feel that black women across the board, not all, but a lot, especially if you don't go to, there's not a lot of black people in your school, for example, in this country, and the likelihood is I went to a grammar school. There was a limited amount of black girls in my school. Yeah. If she's not getting reinforcement from me or my brethren,
the kind of reinforcement that she's going to be getting from the white boys is going to be you're pretty for a black girl.
I get you.
And the reinforcement that she's going to be getting from a black man is going to be your bat is big.
And that's
Exactly.
There's nobody that's telling her you're beautiful.
I like your personality.
I like your personality. I like how you are. And there's nobody that, and more so, she's dealing with men that are telling her that you too feisty, man. You do you know what I mean?
You think you're too nice.
You're too nice. Because your back is big. You're acting like.
Let me give you an example. So this is why I talked about certain chef man. I went to a barbershop. I'm in the barbershop, and as you know, I go to a black barbershop. Yeah. So I'm in the barbershop. Everybody in this barbershop is black. And this brother walks in. I know him. Not gonna mention his name. And he's talking. He's talking about he went out of town last week, bro. And then we're talking about Sheffield. And he looked me square in my eye and said to me, "Yeah, but there aren't any pretty black girls in Sheffield."
Where's he been?
This man is from Sheffield.
Anyway,
and I'm not saying he's a representation of everybody. Yeah. But what I'm saying is,
I'm glad for a man like that.
Let me finish. When I went home because I was shocked because I've never heard somebody so outlandish in front of other black. Like everybody was black. So when I went home and I told my wife, she's like, "Yeah, that's just a no." Like her growing up, that's what she heard. And
I grew up in Firth Park School, and I know all them from Desert Eagle and whatever, they all used to hang out at Firth Park and that, and I don't remember any of them with a white woman. I remember them all we was all kind of you know, we'll
You're in a
together.
That
was
a
a
black
uni,
area. You're in an
Using the
area
top
where
like,
the
yeah,
struggle.
yeah,
Using
and I think now their wives
so
and the
if
baby
I've got
mothers are
certain people
black.
that went to Eckington school
Yeah.
and do you know what
Well,
I mean?
Eckington,
Like,
come on.
Me, yes, I'm
Yeah.
What were you about to say? What were you about to say? Complete sentence.
yeah, milk
Yeah,
girl,
they're not black in Eckington. But
Exactly. That was me.
Yeah.
I just think, like, taking from what you said, where you grew up in a predominantly black area, in general, Sheffield is predominantly white, let's be real. So when if we've just got like black areas, yeah, there's going to be strength of community there. But then when you're getting dispersed to other parts, I don't know, what is that area called? Not Eckington, because that's a bit nice. Somewhere a bit like Manor.
Killamarsh.
Yeah, go
We're
on.
in Manor now.
We're in Manor now.
Well, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's
Manor, yeah.
It's all with Manor.
Yeah,
it's
Manor,
all
somewhere like that. Okay, so that was a predominantly white area back in the day.
Yeah.
And then they pushed...
They've
they
It
pushed
still
black
kind of
people
is, even
here,
where I live now.
And then what
yeah.
it is you're assimilating. So the black guys are getting with the white guys. And then you put on top of that colorism, like you was touching on. You put on top of that the heavy indoctrination that we as black people globally have anyway. And then you put it in a very white city. It is absolutely
European standards of
magnified.
beauty.
Yeah, it's
And what I
absolutely
find
magnified.
is most of them. Okay, I'm going to reword that.
Okay.
There's a good amount of. There's a certain.
Land.
I am trying to be politically
It's time
correct.
to end the podcast.
Yeah.
No, right.
You're gonna offend somebody regardless. So just
I'm not
go
going to
on.
offend nobody. There's a certain look of a black girl
What's
that
the
you're
right
gonna
look?
get that ventures out to white man, and when you speak to them, they'll tell you that I ended up dating a white man because growing up, I just didn't get no love from the black man. Them
I just don't like black.
right? Let me tell you something. You see, when white man get black gal, yeah,
Yeah,
Deeper thing.
they get
the Pengus ones.
the Pengus black gal,
Yeah, the crystal.
big body
Put
gal.
them on a pedestal and everything.
And they put them on a pedestal, even though beyond that,
Yeah.
there's certain
There's
issues
deeper
that-
levels. There's deeper
There's
issues.
deeper levels. But your black gal, alright. It's gonna sound
You mean the
messed
worship
up,
them?
right? But you've got certain black gal now that most man will say, yo, she's peng. But when she was in school, nobody really looked
Checked
at her. Nobody checked for her. I think I'd like to call them the late bloomers.
Not even late.
They're not even late bloomers.
We just wasn't looking at them. And
You know your Zoyas?
Nothing that's to do with
Yeah, I am.
No, it is.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
Excuse you.
In touch like that. You've hit it.
Yeah.
You've got
What
it.
did you say?
Times change, so
What
When
was
I-
beautiful then isn't.
is it right?
What's
so
beautiful
when I
now?
was in school, first of all, being African was not cool.
At
It was
all.
no,
Last
it was
week,
not
yeah.
cool at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So
EPO2, check out
in school,
EPO2.
people would be like saying the most insulting things about African people, and Jamaicans were cool in school, and this is from Manchester. Come to
And
Sheffield.
Shep,
But,
It
but
would've
then
been-
I didn't do school in
It
Sheffield.
would have been. It would have been everywhere
It would
outside.
have been
everywhere.
This is like media, because now if you look at it, look at Instagram, we know everyone is literally trying to be black in some way.
Yep.
Body
Trying to
wise,
do some dance, something.
dance wise, everything. So I think as the times changed, to be black became fashionable. It almost became like it's okay. So when you were in school and those guys weren't finding you attractive, and then about 10 years later, because of everything that's gone around it.
But what Tanashi said, it is kind of true though. Because do you know how many guys I've had that hit me up? Let's say in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I used to like you in school.
But
First of all, I would
Yeah.
have got with you anyway. First of all,
Yeah.
because
Moving on.
I like my
Moving on.
chocolate. I don't care, right? And second of all, it's like, why are you telling me now for? Were you ashamed of saying that out loud in school?
Yeah.
Do you blame them? No,
I
but
don't
do you
blame them,
blame
because I was
them,
the only
because
black
if
person.
they couldn't idealize
Yes,
you
yeah.
based on society's
Now looking-
standards,
Yeah.
and now
They can come out and say it. I
the
don't.
dark-skinned black girl is.
It's on a
No, but
Is
No,
on a-
maybe they just don't have
I
the
wouldn't say
confidence.
she's on a
you
pedestal.
know?
Well, in
I
terms
said
of
maybe they just don't have the confidence.
Confidence to what? Approach me?
What?
Probably not.
No, it's not about confidence.
I don't care.
And Sheena, if you was a light-skinned girl, in
They probably
school,
would have approached me.
do you think you would have had different attention from man?
I had my boyfriends at school.
I'm saying the attention that you got. If you was light skinned like how Asher's light skinned, sorry to have to use you as an example. Asher.
I'm not the face of the race.
Oh, did you get it?
I'm dropping it, go on.
But yeah, if you was light skinned, right?
I will.
Would you? Do you think that you would have had different attention from man when you was younger?
From black man or white man?
From black. Alright, let's say from the black man then.
White man.
If you was a browning growing up.
But listen, that's what I'm saying. This is the thing. Probably because of how my body was anyway. You get me? Because I had, when I was
thing.
younger,
You were sexualized because of your body.
Yeah.
Not necessarily when man were shirts in you, when they're saying yo big batty girl, yo big titty girl, or when they're saying oh pretty girl.
They said pretty or sexy. Yeah, pretty or sexy.
Sexy,
yeah,
right? But sexy.
And as I got older, it became beautiful. And I was like, I want to be called beautiful. but
that's why are you saying you've never been called beautiful? Because if you was a browning, you would have been getting called beautiful from when you.
Listen. If you're dark skinned and the man never gives you attention, it's because of your assets. It's not because of your prettiness or your skin tone.
Has that even changed though?
Because of your breast or
it doesn't
your
phase.
The girls in my school that got attention, not even trying to big up myself, one of them weren't prettier than me personally, and she got attention.
She needs to not having it.
And that's why she got attention. But then years later, I did find out there was a few secret admirers that I was really shocked about. But they were looking at the lighter girls and the girls that had body. They didn't care for the darker skin complexion at all. That's facts.
That's just
a wrap up.
Nice for a dark skin, or like my mum used to get called Lucifer because she was dark skinned, or called a black sheep. Oh, you're pretty, but you're dark.
Really? Wow. And in the past couple of years, when man tried to talk to me and said, you know why I like you as well? Yeah, I like the gatti and I love your dark skin. And I'm like,
yeah, do you know what? I said this earlier on, right? Nowadays, dark-skinned girls are celebrated.
It's trendy.
But you've got to be careful who celebrates you, because some man are going to be like, there's some man that just see you naturally as beautiful, regardless of your dark skin, because you're just beautiful even though you're dark skinned. And then you've got man that are going to try and put you on that pedestal because it's fashionable
they're gonna objectify you as a black woman.
They're objectifying you essentially because dark skinned women have been objectified because they usually come with good assets.
Forever.
Like your dark skinned woman, your Maria Matola, your athletic dark skinned girl.
So in your view then, are dark skinned women beautiful or what?
Of course.
Dark skinned women.
Yeah, look up the podcast.
I want him to answer.
I want to answer.
Look up the
You get me?
podcast.
No,
What's your preference?
Okay, are the two cameras looking at me good?
Talking.
Something about dark skinned women.
Oh Lord.
I told you. This podcast is done.
anymore.
No, dark skinned women are beautiful. I love dark skinned women. Moment of truth. When I was young,
You preferred.
I wouldn't even say I preferred because I was young.
Okay.
So I didn't know
You didn't know your
preference
preference.
was. But nevertheless,
You like.
I remember when I was about 8 years old. I remember, and do you ever have memories of thoughts that you had as a child?
Yeah,
I do.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I do. And one of the thoughts that I remember having as a child was, I wish I was light skinned.
Remember that?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Never crossed my mind.
Right.
No, I understand that 100.
I remember saying I wish I was light skinned, and my sister, I call her my sister even though she's my auntie, but she grew up as my sister. I remember her, she was on her way to school, and she turned around to me and she said, "You're handsome." And that was a big deal for me because nobody
No one's
ever
ever
told
said
me
that
that.
to you.
That the first person to tell me that I was handsome was my auntie. And I remember it. I was about 8 years old. I'm 34 now, and I remember the moment that somebody told me that I was handsome, and I remember processing it, thinking, "Oh,
Maybe.
okay then," because in school I'm seeing how the light-skinned boys are getting attention from the girl them.
At 8, you know.
Yeah.
I'm 8 years old.
Kids pick that up from early. That's the point. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So as a black man, then do you feel like women chose lighter skin?
Yes!
It's same.
And you know the joke
I've
is
been
as well.
around light skinned man and light skinned man.
will tell you.
They don't even have to try. They get gal. Gal come to them.
I'm not into
Listen,
them.
I've got some
Do you not think
cousins.
things have changed now then?
A little bit, yeah. But I've got some cousins.
A little bit.
I've got some cousins, and they will tell you, yo, I get everybody.
Light skinned man.
Yeah. He'll tell
Get
you,
dark
you get
skinned gal.
Yeah.
Light skinned gal.
Everybody.
White gal.
Everybody.
Indian girls.
Everybody.
Because they're palatable.
Yeah.
Not to me.
No,
Not to, but in society standards.
No, but not to
Can we
me.
wrap this up, please?
People normally say to me, Ashini, you're like dark men, don't you? I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you know
But
why?
No, don't do it.
No, nothing to do with sexualism. Nothing to do with sex.
Go on.
Because I like, you know what? This might come out wrong, you know. This might come out really
If it's
wrong.
not about sex, I don't know how it can be wrong.
No, it might come out really wrong. I just find that darker skinned man,
They glisten in the sun.
no, they just look.
I'm on the side.
They just, you know, they just look more, to me, they just look more
Stronger?
masculine, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. They just look more masculine.
Everyone was there covering their face.
No, right, and also, yeah, you know, people tend to be scared of them a bit more, and you know, they
So you feel more protective.
protector kind of thing. I just find them really attractive and sexy. I love man.
No, I get that.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I get you. And
So
the
light skin
same,
men, Safi.
I think the same kind of goes with dark skinned girls.
How?
There's a correlation with power when you look at your dark skinned girl. So when you're typical white people, if you're dark as a black girl, they are going to be automatically intimidated. By you.
Okay.
That's that power. As a black man, I perceive that power completely differently to how white people will perceive it. So there's something within that darkness that emphasizes some kind of power. So the same way that you described it, I probably described it in a different way, but it is the same way. It's that melanin rich black woman, and that melanin rich, which is why when you look at movies or whatever, they usually use a dark skinned black man to represent a black superhero. Because
This is the man popping.
and likewise, racism use the dark skinned black man to represent the devil.
Literally. Yeah, I saw some propaganda today. I was like, they didn't really do that. They literally did it. They literally did.
It is literally that. So,
right, guys.
But yeah, so that's today's podcast. Yeah, that was it. That was a good chat though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
The good?
actually we're good.
Don't even speak to me.
I should go sit beside that guy next time. You know?
No, I'm not sitting next to you.
We didn't even say bye. You know that was